Years ago, I purchased a sprawling ranch in the countryside, seeking a peaceful retreat far from urban chaos. The property was everything I dreamed of. 10 acres of rolling meadows, a charming farmhouse needing some love, and a sturdy, locked gate at the entrance. I cherished the solitude, the birdsong, and the chance to restore the land at my own pace. But my tranquility was soon tested by an unexpected foe. Linda, the president of the Homeowners Association, HOA, from the suburban neighborhood a mile away. Linda first appeared a week after I moved in, as I hauled furniture into the farmhouse. Her smile was bright but felt forced, like a salesperson pitching an unwanted product. She introduced herself as the HOA president, gesturing toward the tidy subdivision in the distance. "We take pride in keeping our community pristine," she said, her tone hinting at an unspoken obligation. I nodded politely, clarifying that my ranch wasn't part of their HOA, as it lay well outside their boundaries. She laughed, a bit too loudly, and said, "Oh, I know, but we value being good neighbors." The phrase felt strangely foreboding, though I dismissed it as small-town chatter. A month later, Linda returned. I was sanding the old iron gate that guarded my driveway, a weathered but functional symbol of my privacy. She approached with a basket of muffins, calling it a housewarming gift. After some small talk, she eyed the gate and said, "It's such a shame to lock up this gorgeous land. Neighbors were saying it'd be nice if folks could stroll through." Her words caught me off guard. "This is private property," I replied firmly but courteously. "I prefer it stays that way." Her smile faltered briefly, but she recovered, saying, "Of course, just thinking of the community." I thanked her for the muffins and watched her leave, an uneasy feeling growing. For a while, life returned to normal. I focused on the ranch, planting a vegetable garden, fixing the barn, and savoring the quiet. Then, one evening, my security camera alerted me. The footage showed Linda outside my gate, scribbling in a notebook and glancing around furtively. It was odd, but I chalked it up to her being nosy. That changed when I found 3 strangers wandering my back pasture one weekend, snapping photos like tourists. When I confronted them, they looked embarrassed. "Linda said this was community land," one stammered. "She told us you were fine with us exploring." Stunned, I escorted them off, my anger simmering. Why was Linda lying about my property? The next morning, I marched to the HOA's office in the subdivision. Linda greeted me with her usual saccharine smile, but her eyes betrayed unease. When I mentioned the trespassers, she brushed it off. "Just a mix-up. I might have mentioned your land in passing, but I never gave anyone permission to enter." Her excuse felt rehearsed, unconvincing. I pressed her, but she dodged, instead suggesting, "You're not HOA, but joining us could simplify things. We have resources to improve your property." It clicked. She wasn't just meddling. She wanted my ranch under her HOA's control. I left, resolved to protect my land. Soon after, an unmarked envelope appeared on my doorstep. Inside was a typed letter, not on HOA letterhead, signed by Linda and dozens of neighbors. It read, "We, the HOA, respectfully request that you open your land for limited community access to promote unity and enhance our neighborhood's appeal." It wasn't a request, it was pressure to treat my private ranch like a public park. I was both amused and alarmed. Why was Linda rallying her neighbors against me? Over the next few weeks, strange incidents piled up. Trash, soda cans, wrappers, even a broken flip-flop appeared near my fence. Tire marks showed up in the mud by my back gate, though my cameras caught no vehicles. Worst of all, my pumpkin patch was trampled, the plants crushed as if someone had stomped through deliberately. No animal tracks, just human footprints. I couldn't prove Linda's involvement, but the pattern suggested intimidation. The final straw was an official HOA letter in my mailbox, claiming my fence violated community standards and encroached on HOA property, demanding I remove it or face legal action. I was furious. My fence was well within my property lines. I'd verified this with a surveyor when I bought the ranch. This was no mistake. It was a calculated attack. I hired a new surveyor, who confirmed my fence was legal and revealed something surprising. A strip of HOA-maintained shrubs and a welcome sign was on my land. I enlisted a real estate attorney, who sent a cease and desist letter to the HOA, demanding they stop harassing me and remove their landscaping from my property. I also bolstered my security, more cameras, floodlights, and private property signs. For a moment, things quieted. But late one night, my cameras caught Linda again, this time with two others, measuring my gate and studying what looked like architectural plans. My stomach sank. What was she scheming now? I called the HOA's lawyer, expecting deflection. Instead, he sounded flustered. "We were told your property was under HOA jurisdiction," he admitted. Linda provided documents claiming it was set to be annexed. Annexed? That word hit hard. Annexing requires owner consent, legal filings, and city approval, none of which I'd given. My attorney dug deeper, and a contact in the city's zoning office sent a bombshell. Linda had filed a request with the city council to annex my ranch, claiming it was neglected and would benefit from HOA oversight. She'd included unauthorized photos of my property and fake complaints about it being an eyesore. The hearing was 2 weeks away. If approved, I'd be dragged into the HOA, subject to their rules and fees, potentially losing control of my ranch. I refused to let that happen. I fought back by going public. I compiled evidence. The surveyor's report proving my fence was legal, screenshots of Linda trespassing, the petition, and a timeline of her harassment. I included proof that the HOA's landscaping encroached on my land. I posted it all online, tagging local news, city council members, and the HOA's social media, under the title, "The HOA President Trying to Seize My Ranch." The post exploded in our small community. Neighbors I'd never met messaged me, apologizing for Linda's actions. Some admitted signing her petition under pressure, thinking it was harmless. Others revealed Linda had used HOA funds to pay for the lawyer and landscaping, claiming it was for community improvement. Even HOA board members reached out, shocked to learn Linda had acted without their knowledge. One, Tom, said, "She told us you were a problem neighbor. We had no idea she was trying to take your land." The night before the city council hearing, my cameras caught Linda again, attempting to cut down my no trespassing signs with bolt cutters. I called the sheriff, who arrived as she spun a flimsy excuse about checking property lines. The deputies reviewed the footage, issued a trespassing citation, and escorted her off. Her facade was shattered. At the hearing, my attorney and I presented our case. Neighbors showed up to support me, condemning Linda's overreach. The council unanimously rejected her annexation request and ordered an audit of the HOA's finances, focusing on her misuse of funds. Linda resigned as HOA president days later, her reputation ruined. The HOA removed their landscaping from my property, and her lawyer abandoned her case. Today, my ranch is the sanctuary I always wanted. The HOA leaves me alone, and I've connected with neighbors who were just as fed up with Linda. I check my cameras occasionally, but the quiet mornings and starry nights are mine again. This ordeal taught me to stand my ground and fight strategically. Sometimes, protecting your peace means exposing someone else's greed.